Today we have a really spicy story of revenge that ended in sweet, awesome payback. These guys may have gone a little too far, but the story is totally worth it. But first, she thought I worked at Home Depot. Now, she's out of a job. So let's start this off by explaining what I do for work. First of all, I work for a school district doing IT. Given the nature of the job, I can be doing anything from running wires to cutting metal and all sorts of different types of work. When I'm doing things that are a bit dirtier, I wear normal clothes. This isn't too different from what I would normally wear, except I wear a t-shirt instead of a golf shirt. So I am at Home Depot, wearing a pair of tan cargo pants, hiking shoes, and a red t-shirt, as well as my old beat-up hat and a pair of sunglasses on my hat because I was inside. I'm looking around for some things to do a job in the afternoon, and an old lady asks me for help. I gladly help her get something off a higher shelf and answer a few questions for her because I just knew more about construction than she did, obviously. Really, she just wanted to know the best ways to mount some pictures that were a bit heavier. So I directed her to some proper mounting materials and explained the best way to mount the hangers. Nothing special. I walked down the aisle because I needed to be in the hardware aisle anyway, looking for some stuff. As I'm crouched down, I have some other things in my hands and I'm taking things out and putting them back as I look for the proper hardware. It's not like what I'm doing has any sort of a set way of doing it, so I'm just trying to figure out what would work best for what I want to accomplish. Another lady walks up and right off the bat, really rudely starts demanding that I help her. Keep in mind, I in no way look like I work at Home Depot.
It's about time I found someone. I need help.
I ignore her since she can't possibly be talking to me. Then this entitled woman grabs my shoulder and pulls me back as I am crouched down, causing me to fall back.
What the heck, lady?
That is no way to talk to a customer. I should report you to your manager for ignoring me and swearing at me.
That would be great if I worked here. Go away.
You obviously work here. Go get a ladder and...
No thanks, I'm good.
I'm going to go get...
Loud enough for those around to hear.
No, I will not go to your car to make out with you.
I'm not even all that angry. Annoyed? Maybe. But I enjoy making people like this uncomfortable.
I didn't... That's not what I...
Manager sees the commotion and walks up. She starts screaming at how unprofessional I am and so forth. I know the manager. We have bought each other drinks at the local bar. He knows I don't work there.
He helped this old woman and now won't help me.
The manager cuts her off.
Ma'am, you are hereby banned from this store. Leave now or you will be escorted by force by an officer.
The entitled woman refuses to leave and, as promised, is booted from the store by cops. Fast forward to yesterday. That's why I posted this today. Again, I work in a school district. All substitute teachers must come to me to get a temporary FOB key to get in and out of the building. Imagine my surprise when I see Home Depot lady walking into my office. She immediately goes off screaming at me. I seriously didn't even recognize her at first. Then it hits me. I put on a nice big grin and act all nice to her. I let her know that I have to call the office to confirm her placement. The office hears her screaming over the phone and I quietly and quickly explain. 2 minutes later, the resource officer rolls up, sees what's going on, and escorts her off the property. She has been removed from the sub-teachers list, so she can no longer work in our district. After going into more detail of the situation with my boss and superintendent, he also plans on calling a few other districts to warn them. Even if this is a little bit rough, I'm sure it's for the best. She couldn't be all that mentally stable. Wow, and these people are actually teaching children in schools? I'm just glad at least her behavior will be under the radar now. Also, hi, I'm Alex, and if you enjoy amazing stories of revenge, it would be awesome if you left a like. That said, our next story is He stole my food, so I got him fired in two different ways. This story is about what happened to my darling husband, but I know the people involved very well as I used to work in the same warehouse. Recently, stories about food thieves reminded me of this incident, which happened in 2023. Until April this year, my husband, let's call him Mike, worked in a warehouse for a big international furniture company in southern Germany. He liked the work, even though it was hard labor, carrying around 150 kilograms or 330-pound pieces of furniture around. Because of this, staff turnover was pretty high. One of his colleagues, whom we'll name Steve, started at the same time as my husband. They weren't friends as Mike didn't like him, but he respected him as a hard worker. Due to customers coming in all the time, the warehouse staff didn't have set breaks. They just took their lunch break when it was possible. Some used the break room's kitchen, while others went out to the supermarket across the road or went buying fast food on their 60-minute break. Either way, they had to clock out and back in. This will be relevant later. Soon, they realized that lunches were going missing from the fridge in the break room, as well as drinks and some candy bars. Since it was rare for two workers to take their break at the same time, they weren't sure who the thief was. They also were not allowed to set up a camera, so Mike and the warehouse manager decided to take matters into their own hands. Occasionally, when there wasn't too much work to do, they would order food, mostly pizza. My husband loves really hot, spicy food. He must have hot sauce in his veins as he's always chugging that stuff. We have a nice assortment of powders and sauces, ranging from mildly spicy to you better be ready for fireworks coming out of your butt if you eat this. So Mike took a delightful Carolina Reaper sauce to work. You all know where this is heading, right? When the thefts became more frequent, they decided to order pizza. Just Mike and the manager, as the others didn't want to or had other plans. The pizza got delivered and smelled delicious. Miraculously, both my husband and his manager were able to take their lunch at the same time and enjoyed their pizza but didn't finish it. Mike took out the Carolina Reaper sauce with a scorching 2 million Scoville units. For those not familiar, regular Tabasco has about 2,500 to 5,000 Scoville units, so you can imagine what this thing can do to you. Then he generously spread it on the leftovers, blending it well with the red tomato sauce. Then they left to have a smoke and continued working. They hadn't had a chance to clock back in when Steve emerged from the break room running for the bathroom. His face had a very nice shade of red and gagging. When he came back out a few minutes later, he was white as a sheet, reeking of vomit, and left without a word to get something to drink from the supermarket. Just then, the regional manager happened to drop by. He noticed that Steve was absent and had not clocked out. A big no-no that could spell big trouble. What nobody knew was that Steve already had 2 write-ups for being absent without clocking out. If you get 3 write-ups for the same reason, you can be terminated without notice. When Steve returned clutching 3 packs of milk closely to his chest, the 3rd write-up and the termination notice were already printed and ready to be signed. Steve left immediately. He now works in another warehouse, where a good friend of mine is employed. None of their food has gone missing yet. I don't think manager and Mike intended for the revenge to be that extreme. They might have felt bad for the other guy, but they can't be blamed for him breaking the rules. And hey, at least we learned sometimes revenge really is best served hot as hell. So, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.